All right. Hello, Santiago families. We hope you are well. Welcome to 2021 and to our second semester. We are so excited to have some of you guys with us. We're going to go through a couple questions that are coming from you from our community, get everybody caught up on how we're progressing into the next start of the school year of the second half of the school year. And again, we're just excited that you guys could be with us. So really quick, Mr. Shaw will be monitoring the YouTube live chat room. As questions come up in there that we need to address as a whole, we will go ahead and do that live. But for the most part, if there are questions, Mr. Shaw will be monitoring that for us. At this time, I would like to introduce Santiago's new principal, Mr. Kenny Torres, to address the community and to just give him his welcome. So, Mr. Torres.
Hello, Shark families. We just want to thank you for taking out time out of your busy day on this Wednesday afternoon, and Happy New Year to you. Happy 2021. Thank goodness we've said goodbye to 2020. I just wanted to share a little bit about myself as the new principal. I know some of you have read the Friday finales and some of the welcome messages that I've sent out, so I appreciate that. But I just want to let you know that I am a true Shark through and through. I've been around this place from a long time. I was actually hired here in the fall of 2006, where I was an assistant principal here for 10 years. And during that time, I had a myriad of wonderful experiences with our students, staff, and our community. And we always strive at Santiago High School to have great relationships with our parents. And we thank you for everything that you do. I left here in the spring of 2016 and went to Orange Grove High School, where I became the principal there for the last 4.5 years. And then when Dr. Bond moved on to bigger and better things, I had the opportunity to come back here and now be the proud principal of Santiago High School, who I tell everybody that will listen that Santiago High School is not only one of the best schools in Riverside County, one of the best high schools in Southern California, but I believe that Santiago High School is one of the best schools in this great state. We pride ourselves on the 4 A's, and I will continue to repeat that in nauseam at all times. First is the academic piece. That is so important to all of us because we want to help mold our young men and young women to move on from Santiago High School someday and be the best that they can be in any endeavor that they choose. The arts, Santiago prides themselves on being just so strong in the visual and performing arts. Our band, our choir, our drama program, all of our visual arts classes where our kids are moving on to great places after they leave us. We very much spend a great amount of time focusing on the arts at Santiago. Activities under the leadership of Mr. Jordan Sampson, and really staff-wide and student-wide, we have one of the best activities program in Southern California. Our kids work extremely hard to try and provide a great experience for our students. And athletics, we are not only pride ourselves on performing on the field, but as Coach Mitchell will tell you, we pride ourselves on being great students. And our number one goal is creating student athletes at Santiago High School. And that's what we appreciate the most. Guys, I know that we are in unprecedented times. Excuse me. And I know that it's been very difficult since we left March 13th of last year. But we all are in this together. As Sharks, we are stronger together. And we just need to continue to stay together as long as we can until the day that we're all back on campus meeting face to face. I am honored to be the principal at Santiago High School. Us as an administrative team, we are here to serve you and to serve this community. I thank you guys for logging on today, but I also want to thank the Santiago community at large because we are the Sharks and we are the kings of the sea. Have a great day and go Sharks.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Torres. As Mr. Torres explained, again, if you have not taken the time to read through the Friday finale that we send out every Friday, please make sure that you are utilizing that. It is a great resource. You know, oftentimes it might not look like the information is changing, but please make sure you scroll from the very top to the bottom of that newsletter because there is new information as it comes out weekly. So again, we just want to make sure that our families use that resource to your best abilities. Okay, so I'm just here to share a little bit about some updates on activities. The first thing that I just want to remind everybody is clubs. Clubs are still going on, and I know that clubs are a huge social emotional piece for our students. A lot of our students, the questions that we were getting in the Google form that we sent out to our community were our clubs meetings. So, oops, excuse me, let me go back really quick. So I just want to show. So on the Santiago High School website, okay, under programs and activities, there's a tab called Santiago High School Clubs. If you are to click that, this has a updated continually of who our clubs are. If you click on it, you'd be able to see when they meet, who their advisor is. They have applications, Instagram. I encourage our students to definitely get plugged in, but then parents also, you know, you guys can look at this and you guys can sometimes help your student find different avenues to get plugged in on. We are having our second semester club rush. It will be virtually on Friday, January 29th at 1 p.m. So encourage your student to take a look at that, join us virtually, and we are going to help. And we have a couple new clubs that are coming in as well, so have them check all that out. Regarding events, as Mr. Torres said, we are just trying to navigate this to the best of our ability. We understand that, you know, the high school career and the high school life is filled with a lot of events, and we are just trying to do as much as we can. So, you know, expect to see a couple new things come out virtually. Our ASB kids and our leadership classes and a couple different of the 4 other classes are trying to find new and innovative ways to kind of do things for our students and create some of those memories that we just know that a lot of them are feeling like they're lacking at the current time. So be on the lookout. We are working on it. As far as seniors, please know from everybody here, from all the staff, you are on our minds constantly, and we are always thinking about you. And we know that, you know, this has been a struggle, and we wanted to make this a memorable year for you. As always, you know, second semester is when we really throw our focus to seniors. You know, we want to avoid all of you guys jumping into that senioritis too soon. So maybe that's why you felt like, you know, I'm not getting much, I'm not getting anything. We have things that are planned for you. We want to try to get stuff done. I'm working with your class officers, Seth Boren and Mackenzie Zander, to get things going. Feel free to reach out to them on your social media accounts. Follow them on Instagram, on Twitter, and, you know, help share your guys' ideas. If you're sitting out there and you've seen something really cool, make sure to share it with them, and we'll see if it's something that we can feasibly do for us on our campus. I want to thank the parents. I know that a lot of our parents on social media right now are starting to create Facebook pages and kind of rally together to try to do as much as we can for our students. And I love that. And I appreciate so much of what you're doing. I just like you to please remember that, you know, we really want our kids to take the direction of what activities they want for their student body. So we will definitely be creating a forum for and a group of parents who are going to help us kind of create some of those things that we can't do feasibly as a campus. But please know things are coming and in the works. And the biggest thing for us, we want to make sure that all seniors across CNUSD have the equitable resources to the same kind of memories. That's the biggest thing that, you know, our school site and our district is really trying to accomplish. Is we want to make sure that we know this has been difficult for everybody, and we want to make sure that seniors across the board have that same thing, whether you're coming from Santiago or you're coming from Roosevelt, across the board. So that's where there's been a lot of collaboration as well, whereas you might see that's where some things are kind of being held up a little bit, because we want to make sure that what we do for one side of the seniors are also something that all seniors are going to have a chance to get to do. I know the big ticket item is going to be graduation. Obviously, graduation is going to happen. We are still just kind of waiting as we go through this roller coaster of, you know, dates that open, when we not, you know, we're navigating that, and we're thinking of the different things that we can do for graduation. Is it going to be different than what it was last year? We still don't know. We're still waiting for direction from the district, and kind of, I think the district is waiting from guidelines to be set forth from the county and from the state. But just know, that will be the first email that is sent out to you so that you guys can make sure to make your plans and make sure that you have preparations set so that you have an amazing ceremony for your senior and you can have the people there that you would want them to be there. So again, things are coming down the pike. You know, we want to make great memories for all of our students, and we are going to continue to try to do our best. All right. Next up, we have Mr. JT Cameron.
Hello, everyone. There's going to speak to a couple issues that we got in the Google form that we sent out. And I don't have very many of them, but some of them are somewhat specific. We're going to make sure that they're generalized and answer the question that was on the Google form. The first question had to deal with students on 504s. And I think right around the holidays, some parents were calling different places, trying to figure out to get some information about 504s. We want to make sure clear, when you call Santiago High School, it is your grade level AP that handles the 504 for your student. If you have just general questions or so, just call the AP's office and any AP can talk to you about the general specifics, or the secretaries in the office who handle the paperwork can also answer many of the questions. If they're specific to your student, then to talk to your grade level AP is the one that you need to contact. If you call down to the district about a 504, they could give you the legal information, but they don't have the specific information on your student that's either been worked out or the scheduling for a meeting or any of the items that need to be brought in. So for 504s, contact the assistant principal's office at Santiago High School. The second item that came up was a question about return to school protocols if we come to school. And we need to talk right now that we don't have that information currently available. I know that in back in the first semester, there was talk about the hybrid schedule and a return date. At this point, all that is going to be renegotiated with the district depending on the new guidelines that are coming out from the district. So I would first pay attention to the school board and the information that comes out from the school board and then through the district office about what those things may look like. And then we will translate those things into what it means for Santiago after we all receive those guidelines and information. The final thing was a question about those students now, and I'm going to start first with the remote learning students, those traditional remote students. And it was a question about the different platforms being used for the delivery of curriculum. And I wanted to make sure clear that we have a couple things, and I know that it gets very confusing, but there's a lot of programs and stuff thrown around. What the basic programs that we function off of, the district allows our union teachers to use one of two different platforms for what we call learning management systems, the LMSs. They can use Google Classroom or they can use Canvas. That's the typical two major platforms that our teachers work on in the traditional remote settings. However, to meet as a class via the internet, they can use either Zoom or Google Meets. But the purpose of those two programs is solely for the meeting purposes via the internet. It's not where you necessarily turn in your items for work or not, unless it's a visual thing that you're doing in class. So the LMS or the learning management system that's important to have those. That's the most important site for your students to get on. The second most important site is the visual communication sites, which are Zoom or Google Meets. Most of our teachers will probably use Zoom, and those are links that you will probably get on your LMS platform through either Google Classroom or Canvas. There is a third element that I know confuses a lot of parents, and it's hard at first for students to get in. And these are platforms that are used in the regular classroom setting if your student was coming to school. And those would be programs like Flipgrid or the textbook websites or something, for looking up information or whatever. These are all websites that are being used to enhance student engagement or to do or complete assignments to be turned in. So in this virtual format, sometimes it takes another program with a unique ability for students to get that enhancement or that engagement, or to get a certain benefit to do their assignments. So we understand it's confusing. I'm going to give you this advice. If you have questions, make sure you concentrate on the learning management system so you can contact that teacher with any questions about the other things that are being used. And if you have issues with those sites, make sure you contact that teacher. Those teachers are available every Monday through Friday for office hours, starting at noon till about 3 o'clock. And they can answer all questions for you. And then once again, we have other resources such as counseling and APs that could assist. But first, please use your teacher as a resource. But I hope that kind of clears up at least where the programs come from. Okay, thank you.
Hello, everyone. So we received some questions regarding how counselors and teachers work together, and also how some of our counselors and our teachers are trained in order to support our students in a remote environment. So I wanted to touch on a few of those. So our amazing counseling department has created, each of our counselors have Google Classrooms. So I wanted to make sure I highlighted that for you. So parents, if you haven't already, I would encourage you to join your counselors, your child's counselor's Google Classroom. And if obviously these are very small and you can reference them later, but they can also be found on our SHS counseling website. So if you go to santiagocounseling.com, and it's very easy, santiagocounseling.com, you can go on that website and access, each of our counselors have a drop down, and you can access their Google Classroom. And on there, there's plenty of resources that each of our counselors have created. And in addition to that, I wanted to highlight that our counselors have created resources to support our teachers here. Our teachers and our counselors have an amazing relationship. And what's really important is that our counselors and our teachers are working collaboratively to support our students. So our counselors have created resources in order to support our students in referring them and how to identify crises. And also we have ways for you parents to refer your students. So even members of the community can refer students to our counseling department here at Santiago. So parents can refer students, our own teachers can refer students, and then they work collaboratively together to support our students. Our administrative team here, all of us work in collaboration with both groups here. As a team, we're all working together to make sure our students have the best success here possible in this environment. So although we're all not here on campus together, we're all working collaboratively as a team to support. So I wanted to make sure that everybody knew that all the resources that were available, and the best place that they're housed are on our SHS counseling website. So I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Smith.
Dr. Smith, you are muted. Go ahead and unmute yourself.
Sorry, that was embarrassing. Okay, so we had several different questions in relationship to what can be expected during instructional time as far as instructional programs. So I'll start with virtual, and the virtual school has about a 20-minute live interaction period daily for students, and that's every hour, every period. So students can go in and meet with their teachers and have live interaction. In Edgenuity, the program itself is the curriculum, which is what is taught, and it's also the instruction, which is how it's taught through the program. And so the teacher is there, obviously, as an instructional resource and a support system as necessary for student learning. In the traditional remote program, though, it's very different. There's 80 minutes per class. During that time, there's both synchronous, you've heard that a lot, and asynchronous learning. Synchronous learning means that it is together learning. The teacher's doing some form of live instruction in the class. That's all going on, as well as the asynchronous means that's individualized learning or small student groups or students working together. And so it's very much the same as it would be in the physical classroom because teachers don't give direct instruction for our 2-hour blocks because the kids' eyes would glaze over and they really wouldn't learn too much. So in the classroom, they do instruction, they have students work on things, they work independently, they work in groups. So even though the platform is different in a virtual world, the things that are going on in the class are the same. Teachers, it will look different in each class. It depends on the content, and it certainly depends on how the teacher designs the lesson, plans the lesson, and then delivers the lesson. And so teachers still are following all the guidelines for the state standards that are being met. And those kinds of things should continue to go on in all the classrooms. What to do if you have a question on that or you feel that you have some concerns. Your first call should be to the teacher. Most of these instructional issues, the teacher is the best one to tell you and try to give you a rationale about why they're doing what they're doing in the classroom. In the classrooms, it will look different every single day. So that's something else to also consider. If after you speak with the teacher or communicate with the teacher and you still have concerns, then your second call certainly should be to the assistant principal who oversees that particular grade level. And then we will, of course, help you to resolve any concerns that you might have. There was another question regarding emailing teachers and the time frame to get back. Our school policy is 24 to 48 hours to return your email. Understand that teachers are instructing. So when you email them in the morning, oftentimes they can't get back to you early in the afternoon because they're still in classes. So if you don't receive an email after 48 hours, then certainly you're welcome to send an email to the assistant principal or send another one to the teacher because they just might have inadvertently missed it, and CC the assistant principal as well. Observations or questions about observations and how they're being done was also asked. We are doing the same things we did before, although in a different kind of way. We used to physically go into classrooms and do what we call walkthroughs. Right now, what we are doing is we are still going into classrooms, obviously via Google or Zoom. And so that's always done randomly. And the purpose of doing it is, of course, to see what's going on and help support both students and teachers and optimum learning for students. And I think that's it for me.
Awesome. Over to you, Mr. Mitchell, Coach Mitchell.
Thank you, Jordan. Again, hey, hi, Sharks, how are you? Again, my name is Coach Mitchell. I'm the athletic director, and I'm going to just take you through a couple of things here, update you on what has been going on with sports up to this point, where we are going to be going, and probably some important dates that will help us guide us in this world of uncertainty and changing challenges as we go through. First, reporting on what we've been doing. Since October, we have had a number of sports and other extracurricular and co-curricular activities return to campus after school time in order to participate in a number of different things, basically physical conditioning, skill building, those kinds of things where they're working and weight training and working with their coaches and be able to see each other. And in doing so, we've been doing that since about October. We first brought back the season 1 sports that were supposed to be started up in January and go through April. And then in December, we started to bring back in that same, what we call conditioning level 2, where they still have to stay 6 feet apart, no sharing equipment, number of very strict protocols that they're under in order to come back and participate in that. So in December, we brought back some of these season 2 sports along with some people like color guard and dance and the drum line and hip hop. And so it's been absolutely successful in a number of different ways. One, we get kids back on campus, which has been an uplifting situation for everybody in this room, everybody, all the admin, the coaches, as well as the players. It's just been an exciting thing just to have them come back, even though they're not actually participating directly in their sports. And I know they're frustrated with that, but they're conditioning and they're together, which is a major part of what we are offering. We are doing so, and we have done so under very strict protocols, as I mentioned, with safety first, and in terms of that process and making sure we stay safe. And to report to this date, we've been incredibly successful here at Santiago due to the fact that I kudos the coaches, I kudos the athletes, as well as the parents who have adhered to every one of those protocols. Whether they're not feeling well, don't show up. Whether they have to wear a mask, wear the mask, whether they believe in them or not. They've been participating, they've been active, and they've been supportive. And I'm proud to say we have not seen one transmission of COVID-19 from being participating in these after school to date. And it's been very, very successful on a number of different levels. So where do we go from here? We know that the state put out new practice guidelines and return to sports guidelines at late December. And we are looking at those and seeing how we can implement those guidelines. And basically those guidelines have come out about competition. When can we start actually having two teams compete and be able to, rather than just practice? When can that end up happening? And obviously we're going to be following and moving along with state and county, as well as district guidelines, and getting approvals for what we can and can't do. But basically, there's a couple of important dates that are coming up with this, and in terms of the competitions. The January 19th, next Tuesday, CIF Southern Section will be making an announcement on how they're going to be handling their playoff systems for the Season 1 sports. The Season 1 sports would be people like cross country, football, girls volleyball, water polo, boys and girls. And so they'll make an announcement on how they're going to be handling their playoffs. And let's be clear right now, there has been no cancellation of any sport at this time. None, no matter what some people have. Now, a lot of people are very negative. They think it's not going to happen. But as we sit here today, there's none. So we continue, and every one of our coaches and our teams continue to prepare for a season of sport. It might be reduced, it might be adjusted, but we are still looking for to create the experience that we can through athletics, as well as co-curricular and performance groups. But what has changed is that the second date is no competition can occur. Earliest date it could ever occur is January 25th for the Season 1 sports. And so we'll look at where we are at that time and make decisions of whether we can do that. And those will be allowed. Those competitions can only happen if the two counties are going to fit in two different categories. One, the sport that they're competing in, combined with the tier that particular county is in. And most of you are aware of the tiers at this point, with the color codes of purple, red, orange, and yellow, and so on. Purple being widespread down to yellow being the minimal. And that's determined by the county and the state. And so we will be adjusting to that. Certain sports are going to be able to compete in the purple. Other sports are going to have to wait all the way till minimal, the yellow, before they're going to be able to compete. And so what sports are categorized in which ones are listed in the CIF state website. They're also listed on the CIF Southern Section website. And we will be making sure that I put that up on the Friday finale that Mr. Sampson talked about earlier, so that you can see, like for instance, who can compete in widespread, cross country, golf, swimming, diving, and track. So again, the only one that's a Season 1 sport is cross country. And so hopefully we can move into purple, because at this point we're still the stay-at-home orders, and we haven't even gotten into the purple as we sit here today on January 13th. But again, we anticipate moving these things forward, and we keep our fingers crossed, and we can keep training with the idea. We are built for this. our Santiago sports and Santiago athletics are built for this uncertainty. And in terms of the fact that continue to prepare and adjust. And although it is frustrating, and there are plenty of times we work together to look to optimism, to look to the best things that we can have, the experiences that we can create. And so we continue to move forward in these things. And again, we control the things we can control, and that's how we continue to handle it. Again, I'll put those up. Feel free to email me if you have any specific questions. Be happy to answer those. The things that I do have direct answers. Otherwise, I'm waiting with you guys. Again, thank you, Jordan.
All righty. Hi, I'm Dr. Bako. So I know last semester we're seeing the impact of this online learning and not being on campus, and especially for our very social students who need that interaction. So we are super excited that the district has partnered with Panorama, and we are going to be, over the course of the next 2 weeks, starting on the 19th, every 9th, 10th, and 11th grader, they're going to be getting a survey link. 9th grade will be getting it through their PE, or if they're in an athletic, a sport class, that teacher will be providing them the link. 10th grade, you'll be getting it on from your world history teacher. If you're in AP, it'll be your AP World or your AP Euro. And then 11th grade, it'll be your US history teacher or your AP US history teacher. You guys will be getting a survey link. And what this link is, it's a 3-part survey, and we want to get your feelings and your perceptions on how you feel at school or online with your social emotional learning and your development. And the 3 parts it's gonna address school climate and culture. It's going to address some social emotional learning aspects, and it's also going to address inclusion in equity here on campus and programs that we offer. It's about a 20-minute survey, and again, your teachers next week will be giving you all the information on how to log in. From our end, it is very important. Take the survey. Make sure you take the survey. Please take the survey seriously, because from these results, we're going to be able to build different types of supports online and possibly on campus, depending on how you answer and what the results of these surveys come back. So again, the next 2 weeks, you're going to have this link. Take the survey, take it seriously, and then hopefully once we get all the data back, late February, early March, we can start developing some groups and some supports to really start supporting your mental health and your social emotional awareness. And really to get, again, we keep saying we're stronger together, we really are. And this is going to give us another tool to really support our Sharks here at Santiago. So again, PE and your social science teachers, they will have information for you. If you have any further information, please email me at any time. And looking forward to eventually seeing everyone back on campus. And I'll shoot it back to Mr. Sampson, I believe.
Yes, actually, really quick, Dr. Bako, while I have you, a question popped up from Ms. Steinkirchner, our PTSA president. Shout out to her. She asked, what if your junior took their history class over summer school and they're not in a history class as a junior?
Great question. So what we're going to do is probably after the first week, I'm going to pull a report and kind of get all the missing kids who haven't taken the survey. And we're going to directly email the kids probably that week of the 25th. We will directly email the survey link and how to sign on to the students that don't have a class, because we know we'll miss a few. And then in the virtual world, you have teachers that aren't Santiago teachers that may miss. So we are going to do some checks and balances to make sure every kid gets the survey link and has the opportunity to take. Great question.
Awesome. And then I think we send it to Mr. Torres to wrap us up today.
Yes, thank you. I received a number of questions regarding the status of school, both in Corona Norco and Santiago. If anybody's been paying attention to our governor. You know, he's kind of laid out some pretty clear, not clear, some guidelines of the way that he wants in-person school to return. Right now, high schools are not a part of that conversation. It's their first step is to try and get TK to second grade back in, but I think it was by February 16th, and then TK through sixth grade by March 16th. High schools will return back whenever we pass the Riverside County protocols, and our district office is working really closely with the county of Riverside and the health office there in order for us to be able to monitor those safety concerns. Guys, the 8 of us, we all want to be back in school. We want to be able to welcome our kids and give them elbows or knuckles or air hugs or whatever it is, because we got into this business because of kids, and we want to work with your students as soon as possible. I know this is really hard for all of us involved, and I could tell you that, you know, getting up and coming to work every day, you know, we look forward to seeing our young people on campus and going through the same journey with them. So trust me, as I could say as the principal at Santiago, and I think I could speak for our admin group, is we cannot wait till things get back to normal. We hope that things change as soon as possible. All we could say right now is let's follow all those safety protocols, and, you know, hopefully we can return as soon as possible. There was one question regarding emails, and I know Dr. Smith addressed that, so I won't belabor that fact. Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to thank you for tuning in today. I want to thank you for just all that you're doing to help support your students. We are here to help. Never has the term servant leadership, you know, been more true of the 8 adults that are leading Santiago High School. We are here to help you the best that we can and to be of service. Thank you very much for this great afternoon, and have a great day.
All right, people, we're out.